Skyrim is an open-world action RPG developed by Bethesda Game Studios and released in 2011. Players can explore a massive, immersive world filled with cities, dungeons, mountains, and ancient ruins while choosing their own path. Whether as a noble warrior, a powerful mage, or something entirely unique, like a stealth archer. With continuous mod support and numerous re-releases, Skyrim remains one of the most beloved and influential RPGs of all time. It's a world of breathtaking landscapes, towering ruins, and stories waiting to be uncovered. But beyond its stunning visuals lies something just as powerful: the sound. From the haunting melodies of the soundtrack to the subtle rustlings of leaves in the breeze, Skyrim's soundscape isn't just background noise, it's the heartbeat of the world, shaping how we feel, where we go, and what we believe about this fantasy land of Nords, dragons, and magic. But how does Skyrim's sound design create this deep sense of immersion? How does it evoke emotion, reinforce the game's rich lore, and enhance the experience of wandering through its vast open world? In this video, we'll explore how sound serves as one of Skyrim's greatest storytelling tools, guiding us, warning us, and pulling us deeper into its world. So let's dive in and explore the sound of Skyrim. Sound in Skyrim does more than accompany the visuals. It's a narrator that weaves the tale itself. Every creaking door, crackling fire, and gust of wind adds to the game's atmosphere, making the world feel so alive. Take the wilderness, for example. The distant howl of a wolf isn't just ambient noise. It signals danger, heightening tension as you scan the tree line. The crunch of snow underfoot or the rustling of leaves in a dense forest just isn't detail. It reinforces the sense of place, immersing you in Skyrim's harsh Nordic landscape. Then there's the dungeons, the low guttural breathing of a draugr hidden in the shadows, the echoing drip of water, the subtle hum of ancient magic, and the unsettling echoes of your own footsteps. The occasional skittering of something unseen in the distance or rocks falling. Even in an empty room, the sound makes you feel like you're being watched. All of it builds an eerie, oppressive mood. Even before an enemy appears, the sound alone puts you on edge. But beyond the technical brilliance, Skyrim's sound design works because it feels natural. It doesn't just fill the silence, it enhances the experience. More than just atmosphere, Skyrim's sound design guides the player, builds tension, and makes the world feel reactive. Even in a game filled with dragons, magic, and fantasy, it's the subtle, familiar details of sound that makes it all more believable. If sound design brings Skyrim to life, then its soundtrack gives it the soul. Jeremy Soul's iconic score isn't just music, it's the emotional backbone of the game, shaping how we experience every moment in Tamriel. Take the main theme, for example. The booming Nordic choir chanting in Dragonborn isn't just an introduction, it's a battle cry, a declaration of destiny. It sets the tone for the entire adventure, making you feel like a hero before you even pick up a sword. But not every track is about power and glory. Listen to The Streets of Whiterun. Soft strings and gentle melodies create a warm, almost nostalgic atmosphere, making the city you're in feel like home. Compare that to Solitude, which carries a regal, almost melancholic weight, reflecting the city's political struggles and its place in Skyrim's history. Music in Skyrim isn't static, it evolves with the player and the gameplay. As you wander the wilderness, the soundtrack swells and fades dynamically, shifting between calm melodies and tense percussive rhythms when danger is near. Battle themes shift in intensity based on the flow of combat, making each fight feel urgent and unpredictable. And then of course there's The Dragonborn Comes, a song not just written for the game, but woven into its world. Sung by bards in taverns across the game, it serves as an in-game legend, reinforcing the player's growing mythos within the world. This blending of music and storytelling makes the world feel richer, as if Skyrim itself is reacting to your journey. From quiet moments of reflection to the chaos of war, Skyrim's soundtrack doesn't just accompany the game, it defines it, making every step through Tamriel feel like part of an epic saga. A world as vast as Skyrim wouldn't feel alive without the sounds that fill its landscapes. Beyond music and dialogue, it's the environmental sounds, the wind, the wildlife, the distant rumble of thunder, that truly immerse the player in Tamriel. Every region has its own auditory identity. Stand in the forests of Falkreath and you'll hear the wind weaving through the pines. the chirping of birds, the occasional crack of a falling branch. Step onto the open plains of Whiterun, and the soundscape shifts. The rustling of tall grass, the distant howl of wolves, the hum of insects in the evening air. These subtle details make each location feel distinct, reinforcing Skyrim's vast and varied landscapes. But the world isn't just defined by nature, it's shaped by the civilization too. Walk through Whiterun's market and you'll hear the murmur of townsfolk, merchants calling out their wares, the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer. In Riften, the creaking of wooden docks and the distant splash of water reflect the city's close relationship with the canals. These layers of sound don't just fill the space, they tell a story about the people who live there. And then there are places where sound is absent. The world becomes eerily quiet. The only sounds are the distant hum of ancient machinery and the faint metallic echoes of your own footsteps. It's a stark contrast to the lively surface world, reinforcing the feeling that you've stepped into something old, forgotten, and possibly dangerous. These environmental sounds aren't just background noise, they are part of Skyrim's identity. They create a world that reacts, breathes, and surrounds the player, making every step feel like it belongs to something greater. Combat in Skyrim can vary depending on the player's approach to situations and enemies, with their own particular playstyles, and players are confronted by many variations of enemies.
You're looking at a real warrior. At least I used to be.
Every weapon has a distinct sound that reflects its weight and power. A two-handed warhammer doesn't just look heavy, it sounds heavy. A dagger, by contrast, slices through the air with a quick, sharp whisper, making each strike feel fast and precise. Even blocking has an audio signature. The dull thunk of a wooden shield absorbing a blow, or the harsh metallic scrape of a sword parrying an attack. These details make each weapon feel different. Magic, too, has a unique audio identity. Flames crackle and roar as they surge from your hands. Frost spells hiss as they freeze the air around them. Shock magic crackles with raw energy. The sound of each spell not only makes magic feel powerful, but also helps differentiate schools of magic. Fire feels aggressive, ice feels slow and creeping, and lightning feels volatile and unpredictable. Then there's the creatures you face. A dragon's roar isn't just loud, it shakes the air around you, signalling its presence before it even lands. The guttural growl of a troll, or the rattling breath of a draugr, warns you of danger before you even see them, adding tension and anticipation to every encounter. Skyrim's combat sounds do more than just add realism, they create a sense of impact, danger, and urgency. Whether you're in a one-on-one duel or a chaotic battlefield, the sound of combat makes you feel like you're in the fight.
You wish to defeat me? Impossible!
Dialogue and voice acting play a crucial role in shaping the game's world, giving each culture, faction, and individual a distinct personality. Accents and tones help define Skyrim's many inhabitants. The Nord speak with rough, weathered voices, reflecting their warrior heritage and harsh homeland.
Blood and silver, friend. Blood and silver.
The Khajiit, in contrast, have a smooth, lilting cadence, hinting at their cunning and outsider status.
Maik knows much and tells some. Maik knows many things others do not.
Even the Imperials and Bretons carry a more refined, authoritative tone, reinforcing their ties to politics and nobility.
Skyrim's days are darkening, and the Legion will soon be called into service like never before.
These vocal differences subtly convey the world's diversity without the need for exposition. Like the infamous,
"I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee."
And while these phrases have become memes, their repetition also serves a purpose within the game. It creates a sense of routine, making towns and villages feel lived in. Guards gossip, merchants advertise their goods, and common folk grumble about the state of the world, just as they would in real life. Beyond generic NPCs, key characters have distinct voices that reinforce their roles. Ulfric Stormcloak speaks with a commanding tone, emphasizing his status as a rebel leader.
I will gladly retire from the world, were such a day to dawn.
Meanwhile, the Dragonborn's allies, like the ever-loyal Lydia, each carry unique speech patterns or phrases that reflect their personalities.
I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Skyrim's voice acting may not be flawless, but it succeeds in making the world feel populated, dynamic, and believable. Every conversation, no matter how small, helps build the illusion of a world that exists beyond the player's actions.
Now, to find myself a drink.
In video games like Skyrim, Foley plays a crucial role in creating immersive and realistic soundscapes. Unlike in film, where Foley is performed and synchronized with pre-recorded footage, video game Foley must be dynamic and adaptable to the player's actions. This means sounds are recorded as assets and then programmed into the game engine to be triggered in real time. To help bring the world of Skyrim alive, Foley encompasses a huge range of sounds. A good example is footsteps. Walking on stone sounds sharp and crisp, while snow muffles each step with a soft crunch. Wooden floors groan under heavy weight, and wading through water produces a wet, sloshing drag. They are deliberately recorded and layered to give every surface a tangible presence and match the visuals. Then there's armour. A warrior's movements are punctuated by the clinking of chainmail and the heavy clank of metal plates shifting when you run. In contrast, a rogue in leather moves with only the faintest rustle, reinforcing the idea of agility and stealth. Even the simple act of unsheathing a sword, a metallic scrape as steel leaves the scabbard, adds weight and presence and gets you ready for the fight. Beyond combat, Foley extends to the most ordinary actions. The squeak of an old wooden door as you open it, the rattle of coins in a pouch when you collect them, a distant clatter of mugs of mead in a tavern. These are subtle sounds that ground Skyrim's world with realism. Sound in Skyrim is more than just sound that matches the gameplay. It's carefully designed and crafted to enhance the storytelling, detailing that the world isn't just vast, it's ancient, and sound is what makes that history feel alive. One of the most striking examples of this is the shouts of the Dragonborn. Bethesda's audio team, led by Mark Lampert, designed these vocal effects to sound forceful and otherworldly, blending layered vocal recordings with low-frequency distortion and deep reverberation. The result is a sound that carries weight, making each shout feel like a raw release of ancient power rather than just another magic spell. The same level of precision can be heard in Skyrim's creature sound design. Dragons, for example, are given a sense of presence through multi-layered roars, which mix manipulated animal growls with human vocal elements. This technique adds depth, ensuring their voices don't just sound large, but intelligent and commanding. Beyond the Dragonborn's power, the soundscape carries the weight of history. The Draugr in the dungeons, the deep resounding voices of the dragons themselves, the music weaving tales and reflecting the politics and status of the areas you're exploring. The game's legendary status isn't just built on its world or its mechanics, it's built on the way it feels, and sound is the thread that weaves everything together. The team at Bethesda crafted a world that isn't just seen, it's heard. It's in the voices of its people, the clash of its battles, the crackling of its magic. And it's in the way all these sounds come together to create something more than just a game. It creates a place, one that lingers in the minds of players long after they leave it behind. Because in the end, Skyrim isn't just a world we explore, it's also a world we listen to. And that is what makes it unforgettable.